like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week.
Throughout history, mankind has been obsessed with physical strength. Since the days of when the legends of Hercules first took shape to the ancient Olympic Games, where wrestling matches were used to determine the strongest man alive, we have always wanted to name one person above all others. Even though it's impossible to rank everyone, we have compiled a list of the 15 strongest people in the world. Number 1 is literally the strongest person you'll ever see. Let's begin, shall we? Number 15. Sergei Tsarevnikov. We are not sure how Sergei Tsarevnikov came up with the idea of his insane videos, but they really are one of the best on the internet, and we are glad he came up with them. Sergei is from Kazakhstan and has won gold medals at the Olympics. Just to give you a glimpse of his raw strength, Sergei has pulled a 180-ton train with his body alone and ripped through iron chains and padlocks by just flexing his muscles. He doesn't care if he loses the keys of a lock, because there's no lock he can't simply break open. Sergei is known for pulling and stopping not 1 but 2 planes from taking off with his bare arms. We are still unsure if there is anything he can't do, because his enormous strength is nothing like we've ever seen before. He has proven that he is the closest thing we have to a real-life Hulk. Number 14. Diamond Ott. There are more than 1.3 million soldiers enlisted in the US Army, and each one of them has been trained to stay physically and mentally fit throughout a year. They are the best of the best, so being able to become the strongest soldier in the US Army must be a pretty hard thing, right? Well, for Diamond Ott, it doesn't seem that hard. First Sergeant Diamond Ott was widely known as the strongest soldier in the world. He has one of the hardest and most creative workouts in the Army, and he makes them look like a piece of cake. He is big and flexible at the same time, which is a really hard thing to manage. After 16 years of service, he has no intentions of slowing down. We feel bad for his enemies because he just might be the real-life Punisher. Number 13. Natalia Kuznetsova. The 28-year-old bodybuilder Natalia Kuznetsova is probably the most muscular woman in Russia. She has been working out to gain this much strength for 14 years, and today she has reached the point where her body can be compared to that of a Hulk. With 18.5 inches of bicep circumference and 220 pounds of muscle mass. That is an incredible win for the gender that is stereotyped as weak. Natalia originally started her training at the age of 14 to gain some weight, probably to fill her swimsuit, and we think she fulfilled that dream of hers quite impressively. She is now actively coaching those who'd like to become just like her. Number 12. Mark Henry. We know you are happy to hear this name on our list. Our beloved WWE star Henry holds the unique distinction of being the only man ever to hold both the US weightlifting and powerlifting super heavyweight championship titles at the same time. Despite his incredible feats, fans still believe that Henry has stores of untapped potential that we never got to see as he pursued a career in WWE. So in theory at least, Henry might have been the strongest man in history. However, we think one man has him beat. Watch to the end to find out who that legend is. Number 11. Jack Schellenschlager. Baltimore is the most dangerous city in America. Maybe that's why Jack Schellenschlager decided to get into weightlifting and wrestling, just to get stronger and able to defend himself. Jack began lifting weights at 11 and has not looked back since. To become the best, you have to be willing to make sacrifices. Pizza and burgers seem to be the price Jack is willing to pay to lift his way to the top. As an 11-year-old, Jack deadlifted 175 pounds. Today, he can lift up to 400 pounds without breaking a sweat. Jack is the only kid sponsored by World Gym and is the most dominant lifter in America in his age. Number 10. Jeff Dabe. Jeff Dabe is a real-life Popeye with 19-inch forearms. Born in 1963, he was a happy, healthy little boy. Doctors couldn't find a single condition that would explain what would soon become increasingly clear. Dabe is a real-life Popeye. That little boy was born with unusually large hands that kept on growing with him, although there is no scientific explanation for them. Dave has never really seen his unusual arms as a burden, and why should he? The remarkable limbs made joining the arm wrestling team in high school a breeze. In high school, he competitively arm wrestled, but after an injury, he was forced to quit. In addition to Dave's 19-inch forearms, each hand can hold an entire basketball. Number 9. Kirim Duigu. Martial arts masters usually fight with their hands and legs, and sometimes even elbows, but Kirim can take anyone on with just his shins. While most people's shins are little more than a painful spot to bump into obstacles with, Kirim is strong enough to fight with these vital weak points without showing any discomfort. He is so good with his shins that he holds a world record for breaking numerous baseball bats with just his shins. Just watching this makes us terrified, because while most people use baseball bats to break people's shins, Kirim uses his shins to break baseball bats. You definitely would not want to mess with this guy. Number 8. Yan Jinlan. China ranks near the very bottom when it comes to body mass index. This means that the average person is not very strong in China. In that region, obesity is not a major problem. In comparison, America is close to the top of that list. For decades, the nation has battled with a leading role when it comes to obesity. Yan Jinlan, a Chinese Anhui 7-year-old, defies conventional Chinese logic and standards. Everything you think was unlikely, Yang would prove it otherwise. He is about 110 pounds, which is almost 3 times the weight a 7-year-old has on average. And great strength comes with great weight. Yan's most famous feat is being filmed pulling an almost 2-ton van. Yan's ability, however, is not limited to towing vehicles. Carrying his 200-pound father is another one of his famous stunts. Number 7. Jay Fuchs. The 50-year-old Jacqueline Fuchs, nicknamed Jay, is a professional bodybuilder from Switzerland. Despite her age, she is considered one of the strongest and best female bodybuilders in the world. In fact, she has been listed in the top 10 female bodybuilders of the world by various fitness and strength pundits. Her victory at the IFBB Chicago Pro in 2016 qualifies her to compete for the crown of the professional female bodybuilders at the Rising Phoenix World Championships in September 2016, in which she was placed 12th position overall. Other than being a successful bodybuilder, Jay is also an artist and an actress. She shares both her artwork and workout videos on her social media accounts and gathers the attention of a huge number of fans. Number 6. Giuliano and Claudio Stro. These two Romanian brothers are basically superheroes. Most 4-year-olds are a bunch of goofballs, and there is nothing wrong with it, but at that age, the heavy lifting was done by Giuliano and Claudio Stro. Every day, they lifted weights and trained with their father for 2 hours. And the exercises not only resulted in more abs and wider biceps than most adults, it resulted in the elder brother Giuliano ending up in the Guinness Book of World Records, not once, but twice. He had 2 world records when young Giuliano was 5 years old. The first was the most air push-ups done with the legs up in the air. The second was to walk a weighted ball between the legs for the fastest 10 meters. He really is the little Hercules. Number 5. Evgeny Los. Evgeny works as a firefighter in Belarus, and he is more likely to save your life than threaten it. But that doesn't mean you go and mess with the guy. Evgeny has an insane body. Just to show you a glimpse of how strong he is, look at how fast and amazingly he swings his hammer. His workout routine is so intense that no one in the firefighting squad can compete with him. And that is just his everyday routine. Evgeny also has a world record for the most weighted push-ups on uneven bars performed in a minute. He performed an unbelievable 53 push-ups in just 1 minute and destroyed his previous record, which was 40 push-ups. Considering his body, which looks like something out of a superhero comic, breaking the records shouldn't have been hard for him. Consider your life saved if he is the one who rescues you. Number 4. Kessia Morelis. The 28-year-old Brazilian girl, Kessia Morelos, is a strong bodybuilder, fitness model, and social media influencer with more than 400,000 Instagram followers, and has earned herself a nickname of social media diva because of her beauty, incredible physique, and unmatched strength. Looking at Kessia's incredible and fascinating body with strong abs and muscles, it is no wonder that she has attracted such a huge fan following. But maintaining her body shape is very essential for her, and Kessia is very keen and particular about it by regularly doing workouts that involve lighter weights and plyometrics, such as jumping, squats, push-ups, and box jumps, which help keep her body tight. It's also worth mentioning here that Kessia has been working out since she was only 5 years old. Number 3. Naomi Kutin. Most people aren't involved in competitive weightlifting, and of the people who are, the majority of them are men. But none of those men have become as famous as Naomi Kutin, who was a teenage girl from Fair Lawn, New Jersey. One day, Naomi, a karate practitioner, tried to learn the art of lifting. At just 9 years old, she was able to do 215 squats, destroying the women's world record, which was previously held by a 44-year-old German woman. As a 16-year-old, Kutin lifted 3 times her body weight, and she was just 130 pounds. She squatted 325 and deadlifted 365. She was nicknamed Supergirl. Number 2. Masaki Ikemiyagi. Karate is an ancient art that is meant to focus on discipline and self-defense, and never on actual combat. This is lucky for the rest of us because there are karate masters who can bring down even the strongest people. Masaki Ikemiyagi is one of them. He began his training under Yagi Dai Sensei at the age of 15 in 1968. He has remained a loyal and dedicated student of Yagi Dai ever since. Ikemiyagi Sensei has been a kancho, also known as a dojo director, of his own Meibukan Dojo in Okinawa since 1981. Yes, he is so good that he came up with his own style of karate. He is known to have the deadliest punch in the world. Even he doesn't know his own limits. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with a man with the deadliest punch on the planet. Number 1. Bill Kazmaier. Kaz is considered by many to be the strongest of the strong, and it's hard to argue. The winner of the 80, 81, and 82 World Strongest Men contests, Kazmaier was barred from competing in 1983 by the event's organizers because it was assumed that so long as he competed, no one else would ever get the chance to savor the victory. Kaz was the first man to lift all 5 McGlashan stones, which weighed between 200 and 350 pounds. His 661-pound bench press stood as the world record for years, and if not for his pec tear shortly thereafter, he would have surely bested himself. His 2,425-pound total, set back in 1981, is still the record for raw powerlifting today. Which one of these people can you beat in a fight? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.